What's good? What's good? It's your boy Black Labels. Hey man, we here with another video with gold lines. And today is for Wednesday, 2/12/2025. Man, I think it's the last night until everyone's off for the weekend. We got a big ass slate. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Basically everyone in their mama's playing. It might be a 14, 15 game slate, bro. This shit's huge. I'm gonna be honest with you, we're gonna cruise through. There's a lot of shit I ain't gonna bet, but I'll give you my best opinion. So you can choose to take that how you want to. But let's get going, man. It's a lot. All right, first game on the slate is the San Antonio Spurs versus the Boston Celtics. Now, the Spurs have covered this 8.5 spread at least 7 of the last 10 times, and Boston has covered the -8.5 4 of the last 10. Now, San Antonio is doing a little bit different stuff, obviously, since they got D Fox. I think the team is starting to roll. I'm actually pretty comfortable here taking that 8.5. I do like that number. I do think San Antonio gives Boston a game. Boston's not really good at blowing bad teams out a lot of times. They'll keep teams around and play with their food. So I'm going to kind of stick here with that San Antonio Spurs at the +8.5. Game 2, Indiana Pacers at the Washington Wizards. I mean, let's keep it a buck here. Can it get any worse? I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even want the -9.5 spread. That's actually a lot for Indiana. And over 40.5. I mean, Washington hasn't really been getting to this number. I do think they get to this number though against Indiana, because I think Indiana just pushes the pace very well. So I'm gonna take the over 240.5. In the last two games, Indiana has gone over. In the last 2 or 3, Washington has gone over as well. So sure, more data if you want to go off of the last 10. If you want to do that, you'd be like, nah, bro. And Washington has gone under this 8 of the last 10 for sure. But they are playing a team like Indiana, where Indiana does like to push the tempo. So it is possible. It is possible. It's gonna be tough. I mean, Indiana's gonna have to at least get you 130, and Washington's gonna get you at least 110. I feel like, which is possible. So I'm gonna rock that over 240.5. Next game coming through, the Charlotte Hornets at the Orlando Magic. I am 100%. I don't even got to go through nothing. I am taking the +11.5 with Charlotte, and I will also take the over 204.5. This is actually one of my favorite games. Crazy enough, I do love Charlotte at plus money a lot of times. Charlotte fights, and I'll take that +11.5, and then the over 204.5. We are in the modern NBA, and that is a very low fucking number. So catch me on the 204 over with the Charlotte Hornets. Now, going into the next game here, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Toronto Raptors. Now, we do have here the 13.5 point spread. I do like, which if I will say, I would take the +13.5 here possibly for Toronto. They are doing pretty solid. They're not a bad. They've been doing better. I just think +13.5 isn't bad, but Cleveland, man, Cleveland's just hard to mess with. So anything can happen there. But I do feel more comfortable with the under 236.5. Toronto has hit that 9 of the last 10. And also Cleveland has hit that last 5 of the last 10 as well. But I do think the pace is going to go to them. So 236.5. But I'm more comfortable probably betting in this game. Atlanta at New York Knicks. I am taking Atlanta at the +8.5. Ride it out. They have covered the spread in the last 8 of the last 10 games. Atlanta has also won 4 of their last 5 games. So Atlanta has been competitive. Obviously, New York has been doing really well. They've won 8 of the last 10. But an 8.5 spread for New York is a lot. So we'll see exactly how that turns out. But I think for me, I'd put my place at the Atlanta +8.5. Next game coming in here is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Brooklyn Nets. I am actually going to take the Philadelphia 76ers at the -2. Now, Philadelphia, yes, let's say is not as hot, and they are less hot than the freaking Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets have actually won 5 of their last 6 games. Brooklyn has also covered this +2 5 of their last 6 games. Philly's also on a back-to-back, but now hear me out. Here's the reason why I say this. Philly needs this game. Coming in right now at 20-33, this is going to determine if they even have a chance moving forward and have a chance at the playoffs. They have to turn it on now. I just think this is a spot. I think Embiid sits, but I also think that means Tyrese Maxey is going to get most of the time with the ball. And I think Philly's better when Tyrese Maxey has the ball majority. So, me personally, I would probably... I'm not betting this game, but if I'm going to give you a pick, it's probably going to be the Philly at -2, or I'm going to possibly take that over 213. It's just it's a very low number. I know Brooklyn has gone under it, and it's the opposite for Philly. Philly has been speeding up recently, so it's just wishy washy. One side's very up, one side's very down. I probably wouldn't bet this game because the spread is very small, and I feel like when you get Brooklyn, if you can get Brooklyn at like a +8, +10, plus even plus like 7, I like Brooklyn at that stage. Like I feel like that's where you want to bet on that. But at +2, you're not giving me much leeway. And if you really just want to go for the positive money and you think that Brooklyn has a chance because they've been hot in the last 6 games, I mean, take the +115. I'm not against that. Just because of value on money wise, that's why I would take it. Now, coming here on Detroit versus Chicago. Okay, what just happened today? Chicago had just visibly had the worst performance you could possibly ask for. Honestly, it was embarrassing. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. It was embarrassing. I'm gonna be honest with you. You have to bounce back from that. There's no way you don't, but I'm not doing that now, and I'm gonna take Detroit at the -6. That was embarrassing. Miami Heat at the Oklahoma City Thunder. I am taking the Oklahoma City Thunder and Miami Heat to go over the 218.5. Both teams have gone over this number at a significant rate. We do see here that OKC has gone over that 10 of the 10 last time because they are scoring so many points regardless of who they play. I'm taking OKC over 218.5. Sacramento at the New Orleans Pelicans. I am easily riding this bad boy out. Holla at your boy. I'm going to take the Sacramento at -4.5. Now, the reason why I'm going to do that is I do think Sacramento has, obviously, they're trying to implement Zach LaVine and go through this whole process, but I still think they're the better team. New Orleans Pelicans is not the better team. Sacramento, you're giving me 4.5 with a better team. I'm going to take it. I think they still get moving. I think they get out of this and they do start to click. This is a good spot for them to start to click. Next game is Milwaukee at the Minnesota Timberwolves. I am going to take here, I'm going to take the Minnesota at -6, or I'm going to take the over 224.5. I think this game actually does go over 224.5. Probably my favorite play of this game more than the -6 is the 224.5. So you could play either one, but if I was going to pick one and I only could choose one, I would take the over 224.5. Now, next game here is the Phoenix Suns at the Houston Rockets. Now, for this game, I'm not touching the spread. The reason why I'm not touching the spread is Houston has actually not done very well recently. They're on a snide. And then Phoenix is super unpredictable. And I'm not touching that. I will take the over, the 223.5. Phoenix has gone over this 9 of the last 10 games. And Houston has also been finding themselves going over this, whether they win or lose. So I'm going to take that over 223. Now, coming in here for the Portland Trailblazers at the Denver Nuggets. Now, in the last timeout, as we can take a look here, and for the last game that they played, Denver beat the shit out of them by 39. And I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of attribute that a little bit to also just kind of they shot really bad, and Denver also shot like 70-something%. So I don't think they do that again, and I'm going to go back to the well. So me personally, I'm going back to that +12. Portland's actually done really well recently, and they just had a bad game. So I'm going to take it as that, and we'll just run it back, see what happens. But I'm going to go around with that Portland at +12. Next game is the Los Angeles Lakers at the Utah Jazz. Now, with this one being said, this is tough. I'm not betting this game. It's very tough. If you actually look at the last game, so Luka did play in the last game, and it went over. It went at a 245. They did score the ball. I'm going to be honest, I'll probably ride it again because they did go over. They went under in the December meeting and they went over in this one. Yeah, I'm gonna take the over here. I would take the over at the 236.5. The last time I did take the under and it obviously shit me. So I'm gonna rock you on the over. After watching the game, I could see where it will go. Next one is Golden State Warriors at the Dallas Mavericks. Now with this one in particular, Golden State is a different breed since getting Jimmy Butler. I'm actually taking Golden State Warriors here at a -5. I think they actually look pretty good with Jimmy Butler. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of a run here from Golden State. So I'm excited to see that. But I do like Golden State here at the -5. Dallas has done a good job, yes, covering the +5 in the last 4 games. But I just think Golden State, how they look, I think they're more prepared. And then Dallas, again, barely any centers. Like, I mean, it's just tough, man. We'll see how they survive. Next game here is the Memphis Grizzlies at the Los Angeles Clippers. Cash me in on the Memphis Grizzlies at +4.5. I don't know what it is. The books are giving them small numbers, and Memphis is crushing. Memphis is actually 8 of the last 10 has covered this plus 4.5. They've also won 8 of their last 10. The Clippers have been on a little bit of a snide here. Nothing too crazy, but they're just kind of inconsistent. But I do like Memphis at plus 4.5. Memphis is a good team to take. That's actually not a crazy spread, and plus 4.5 is actually kind of nice to take with Memphis, considering how many times they cover 4.5. Like if you actually want to look at plus 4.5 in the last 20 games, they've covered that 80% of the times, and they've covered that 77% of the time in all season. Like this is actually probably one of my favorite lines of the day. So cash that Memphis plus 4.5 is probably one of my favorite plays. So probably see that on Twitter tomorrow. But all right, y'all. Hey man, I appreciate y'all stopping by. It was a good video. Comment, like, subscribe below. We do got a Discord below, trying to get people in the Discord, trying to build a Discord community so everybody can cast their plays, talk about their research, do all that stuff. Hey man, at the end of the day, we're a family, man. Just how it is, man. We just want everybody to join, we want everyone to grow, we want everyone to make some money. That's how it goes at the end of the day. I'm not always right, you're not always right, shit. But at least we can try to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt and the best information possible to be right. At the end of the day, hashtag beat the books. Alright? But hey man, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I appreciate y'all watching the video. Again, it's your boy Black Labels, and I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, alright? Deuces.